Hello! Welcome back to another Higgs Boson lecture. My name is Marcus Higsker. I'm afraid Peter Bosanowski cannot be here today. Simply he's gone on holiday and well-deserved rest, I think, but he will be disappointed once our experiment yields its results from today. I know he's very excited and he will be watching our progress online, but there's nothing like being here where the action is. Okay, today we're going to talk about the LHCC and its importance for humanity and explain exactly what is the LHCC. The LHCC is shrouded in secrecy. Its location is absolutely secret. We control the LHCC via proxy with the LHCC controller. Even we do not know the precise location of the LHCC due to it costing $5 trillion and maybe put us into a financial crisis, but you know, the world will recover when we get the results from this experiment. The LHCC particle accelerator is like no other. It is indeed the largest particle accelerator that exists on this planet today. First, I want to explain to you the phenomena known as quantum entanglement. Okay, now quantum entanglement is very, very bizarre. In fact, Einstein quoted its spooky action at a distance. And I agree with him. Who wouldn't? Entanglement is basically you take two atoms, atom 1, atom 2. You put them in close proximity and something happens. These atoms become entangled. Now you can then remove particle A from particle B, separate them, move one to one side of the world, another to the other side of the world. Okay. Now something strange will happen. You can manipulate atom 1 and atom 2 will do the complete opposite. So you spin this one this way, this one will go this way. And knowing this, you can communicate over large distances because these two objects act as if they're still together. There is no time difference, there's no delay, happens instantaneous. This is very important and one of the reasons why there are 8 particle accelerators and not just one. I will get to the main reason for the experiment, but I need to explain these small things first, so it becomes clear as we move through. As you approach the speed of light, time for the occupant of that vehicle will pass much slower. Now this may be a little bit confusing, and I think it best you maybe just take my word for it, because it boggles my mind all the time too. Because there is nothing in the universe that we know of that can travel faster than the speed of light. Apart from those pesky neutrinos. We're still puzzling over those. Now, moving on to our little experiment. Okay, this experiment has 2 stages. It has the EX-1, which is an experimental Europa-class spacecraft. This spacecraft is actually capable of 97.25% the speed of light. This craft is extremely fast, but it is also incredibly small. It is that size. It's a little bit bigger than an iPad. Not very big at all. Now if you look on the craft, you can actually see it has blisters on the outside, and this is where 8 entangled particles will reside. Now these entangled particles will go off for 1 year and come back to Earth, get back in orbit, where I will send a message in a year's time up to the craft, which will then beam that signal back to me today. Now you wonder how this can happen. Now let me explain. We have the LHCC, which is 8 colliders, 8 accelerators stacked one on top of the other. In the collider we have 8 entangled particles with their counterparts on the Europa craft. Now the Europa craft will go for 1 year. However, the time for the capsule will pass much slower. So the time that the traveling of the craft will be is 2 weeks relative to the particles on board the craft. The craft will take a year to get to Earth. However, the particles inside will only be 2 weeks older than they are when they left. Okay. Our particles on Earth in the LHCC are also the same age, exactly the same age, because their speed, 97.25% the speed of light, have been maintained for the entire journey of the craft. The beauty of this experiment is because the entanglement phenomena will travel and the message will be sent from the craft in a year's time, sent back to us today, which is 2 weeks after the experiment started, and we shall receive a message from a year in the future that will maybe give us some inspirational, something we can avoid, some new piece of information, like, have we really found the Higgs boson? So we need to run the experiment for an entire year. So if we stop the experiment after we get our message, then the whole space-time continuum and the fabric of our lives will probably come apart at its seams, and it seems that we need to keep this thing running. So let's pray for no power cuts and things. Okay. Now, all we need to do now is we have approximately, let me check, we have approximately 5 minutes before we're expecting our first message from the future, and it's very exciting times. I mean, Peter will be gutted that he wasn't here for this today, but obviously the data will keep coming over the next year, and then we're going to switch off the LHCC. Because there's too much money to run this machine. It's costing in the region of $5 trillion to build this machine, and at the moment we don't even know if it's going to work. As I say, we are theoretical physicists. We do not profess to know everything, but we do have a good try. And I think I'm leaving the country if we do not receive a message today. So anyway, we have about 4.5 minutes, so I'm going to stop now. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea and come back for episode 2 and find out what we found out, or if we don't, where I'm going to be living, because yes. Anyway, thank you. My name is Marcus Hickscup, and you've been watching the Higgs Boson lectures. Thank you.
Hello, Marcus of the past. This is 5 hours after I have received a message. I am now going to tell you what that message was. The message was that you have been sloppy again, Marcus, and you have left your flies open. This is extremely embarrassing, and I would like to save you the trouble of going through the embarrassment. The thing is, you must remember to tell yourself this even after you've done your flies, because you need to tell yourself again in the future. We have created a paradoxical loop which we have now started, and we cannot finish. I had to send you this message in fear that you would get shot if the misparent did not work, and in doing this I have endangered not just you but the entire world. So I would recommend that you, Marcus, you write down every message I send you, and we'll see what happens. Thank you. Good luck. You're going to need it.
Good luck, mate. Stick another shrimp.
Are you ready to rock and roll? Are you ready to rock and roll?